Everybody's in their room going crazy. Maybe this is going to be an opportunity to have like a primal scream together. I think we all need a primal scream. And maybe that is really, in the end, what heavy metal can do for us, is a primal, big, giant.
Hello, Jordan. How are you?
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
It's an amazing show, you guys. There's just so much joy and love in the thing. It's I was just struck by it. I've watched, many episodes, so it's, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it,
Yeah, I'm sorry that my makeup isn't totally done. It's just in the middle of the day, there's just I gotta also do normal things.
Yeah. Jordan normally has little tear things. I don't know how you would describe them, but he doesn't have them on this time.
Yeah, I got little streakies. That's the longest part of the whole shebang.
It's like painting a car, the detail work. It's the hardest part.
Yeah,
I'm pinning you.
Although it's slightly disconcerting because Jordan's actually in the room where he shoots a lot of things. Drew is not usually on camera, but this is usually, we see Jordan jumping around with a guitar, and now we just have him, he's just sitting there,
I'm just sitting. Yeah, it's the thing is, a lot of people, this is my office. A lot of people think it's just my whole apartment is the couch.
This show is so great because it's so specific, and you guys have a real understanding of this genre. So it's just, how did you describe the genre and just how you got into this love of it?
Why? Because it's a genre I don't understand, just so you know.
Listen, my mom and most of my girlfriends also saying.
I'm with your mom. I'm with your girlfriend. Okay, I mean, I saw before you came on where I was freaking out. But
my mom got me into this stuff. She likes to pretend that she didn't, but then I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is the parent are like, I think where Drew and I connect is like we first became friends because I went to school with your brother, and your brother was like you and Jordan should be friends because you guys both like the same bullshit music.
Right.
And then we found out that there was an even deeper connection than just like metal. We realized that there's also just like a deep love of classic rock and yacht rock and such. And that's how we both got started, and it's both because of our parents.
Yeah. Well, we should mention that it was, so I'm a year older than Jordan, and we went to School of Visual Arts in Manhattan, and my brother was into graphic design, but me and Jordan were both film majors. So we were kind of already on this route of like, we like the same music. We're both kind of funny idiots, and we want to make people laugh. We want to make things that make people laugh. And so, we kind of went on that journey together of like, after school, Jordan and I were friends, and then Jordan moved to LA and I was in New York, and then Jordan moved back to New York, and we like had a really strong bond after that because it was like we were both in the same city with the same goals. And that's kind of how everything happened, the magic.
Yeah, the idea came from the idea came up when I was making a music video for a local band, and the original pitch was we should make a metal talk show, but you guys are the musical performance, so it'll just look like an old like 90s talk show, just exactly like Conan, but a little bit satanic themed. And then like they would just do the musical performance. And the more I thought about the actual talk show, the more I just wanted to make it. And then the idea kind of sprouted from there.
And then where did you meet Hard Melissa and, the other characters on the show?
Hard Melissa is actually she's actually a singer in a lot of like indie projects. Like she did a lot of backing vocals for bands like Foxygen.
Right.
And so she comes from the world of indie music, but she's also a really funny comedian named Emily Panic. And she and I became friends. And I actually wrote the character Hard Melissa for her because of her wit. I was like, she's the only comedian I know who can pull off being like this mean without people being off put by it. She has that special magic. And I was like, she doesn't know anything about metal, which is very funny.
Oh, wow. You don't get that from the show so much. But then how did you, what was the meeting like with the Elvira character? I mean, where does that come from? The mustache and the whole, like, the whole, just out there thing. Like, does that just come from nowhere? Where does it come from?
Well, that's actually really interesting. I mean, we kind of skipped a lot of stuff, but basically, like, for people at home who don't know any context, and I'm just a dude in front of his beautiful boat. Jordan is a Dalmatian in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
But Jordan is these two goats.
Oh my God.
We're huge Sopranos fans.
We love Sopranos.
So basically we were like, filmmaker comedian types in the New York scene, and then we made this pilot for a late night talk show with a metal house band called 2 Minutes to Late Night. And it was gonna be focused on music, but metal is definitely the source of a lot of the humor because metal is very funny. And then because we made that, we made it originally hoping to sell it. And then we realized we have no idea what we're doing. So we just put it online, and a lot of people liked it. And we got really nice write-ups, and it it went as viral as a 30-minute video can go. And
now
because
that,
of that,
that video had a lot of comedy in it. It was not all music. There was long places where it's just funny, sort of Saturday Night Live-y kind of comedy in it. And then now you're not doing the comedy so much because you're doing the live performances. Are you not going to do comedy stuff anymore?
We are, but we're trying to figure out a way to do it that we would do if it wasn't, if we weren't in a pandemic. Like, what's an idea for a version of the show that we could do? Like, because we could do, we thought about doing a Zoom setup kind of thing, but it wouldn't feel, I don't know, the cinematic aspect of our show we really we think is important for the show, for our version of comedy to work. So we wanted to kind of figure out a format that would be fun. Of course, all of our ideas are way too elaborate and would cost money. So we're trying to, that's kind of the whole, our show is 100% a you can say whatever you want to say about the humor or whatever, whether you think the jokes are quality or not. I think the consistent thing of our show is you can see the visual quality of it grows over each episode.
Yeah, so a couple of things. First of all, I love the theatrics of it. Like, as a person who came out of theater, right? So, even your kabuki, I don't know, where'd you get all of the historical.
And Jordan, what's the
I mean, there's a lot of that's questioned around because I think it's all important. The other thing is, why is metal funny? I find it not funny. So what is it that allows it to be a genre of music that lends itself to comedy? I don't understand
the
that.
Singers sound like Cookie Monster from Sesame Street, and we enjoy it.
Yes!
That's about as simple as you can get. It's like, we have a friend who described it once as like enjoying metal is like being a sommelier for really shitty wine. Like, you can understand the intricacies and explain it. That's Katie Rose Leon, who was like one of the first people that we had help us, because this whole thing started, like, Jordan and I lived together, so we wrote it all together. We did everything together, and then, like, because we had Patreon, we were able to, like, bring people in. And so being in the New York comedy scene, like, we met really funny, like-minded people, and we're like, oh, we want to have you involved and help us with that. But the whole, like, metal sommelier thing is like, we like something that you don't like. I probably don't like everything that you like, but why you like it. And specifically, I think this thing happens when you listen to, I don't want to say lowbrow, because I think metal is going through a resurgence right now where, like, the artistry is being re-examined. But I mean, if you look at something like Metallica, I wouldn't really, it's not as valuable to the artistic community as the paintings that Lars Ulrich is buying and selling.
Yeah.
Do you really think that? Do you really think that's true?
It is goofy.
Well, no, I think that metal has two sides to it, because I think you get the part of it that evolves from punk, where it's angry youth and it's people, it's rebellious, but then I think you get the theatrical side, which is inherently very funny, and that comes so early in the genre with bands like Iron Maiden and King Diamond, and who, like my face paint and such. You see them, and there is such a tongue-in-cheek element to it, because that grows out of like glam rock, which also has so much humor to it. So I think it's very easy to laugh at different pieces of it. I also think that for the most part, metal has a very good sense of humor about itself. That's why we kind of chose metal. Is I've worked in the music industry for a long time, and working with lots of different genres, different types of artists, and always I found that the metal musicians were always like were always the funniest and the easiest to kind of get along with. So it was very easy to transition into this, and
but
to have a medium where
did you like lots of different genres of music, or were you, because I mean you play like, you've been playing metal your entire life?
Yeah, I like so. If you look at the covers we do on our show, they're varied. Like, there's Kate Bush in there.
Yeah.
We have Steely Dan in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I get. Like, the goal of the show is to kind of treat metal as a sandbox that people can come and play in, and show that it can be fun for everybody. We would love to have actual non-metal artists come and perform their songs in a metal style, because I think it would allow different genres of music to like cut loose and be silly. A lot of the time, if you look at all of our videos, there's like green screen of just so much silly stuff. I get to make a ton of very fun faces. I get to jump off my couch. You don't really get to do that.
Yeah.
How do you put the I understand, like, so you're a fan of music, so you have a sort of in your mind, it's like Yes and all these different kinds of songs that you want to do, but the musicians, they're incredible, and there's such a wide variety of these musicians, and how do you get all these people to be on the tracks and then record them in a way where they're visually something interesting? You were saying, Drew, you were a graphic artist. So do you, like, how long does it take to produce one of these things,
I would say that it comes together very slowly, and then it comes together incredibly quickly. It takes a lot of, I mean, Jordan is a master composer, and so he writes the songs, and he, they're existing songs, but he rewrites them in his own way and puts his own spins on them. And like, we did the most recent one is we covered Alice in Chains. And we managed to squeeze in a little bit of Soundgarden in there, and doing little like flourishes like that you can only do if you love this stuff. And so he'll reach out to people. We do it through email, through DMs. It's like, but also word of mouth. Do
you guys already know all these musicians? Because there's so many,
awesome.
So many bands. It's incredible.
It's so cool. We don't know them, and to like know who someone is, and then them go, "Hey, we're a big fan of what you do." The best feeling on earth. It's so
cool. It's great. Well, I think how a lot of the musicians we've had on the show are in the lockdown are musicians we wanted to have on the normal stage at St. Vitus, and to do the whole shebang. Like, one of our bigger covers was we did an Ozzy Osbourne cover in the style of John Carpenter and Nine Inch Nails, with a musician named Chelsea Wolfe. And we've been talking to her about doing that for 3 years.
Wow.
The hardest part of the show was figuring out how to get we have no money. So we're like,
Right.
all right, how do we get this person to New York
Right.
from like 7 to 11 p.m. when they're already not playing a show?
Right.
It was really difficult. But now in this time, so many of them were like, listen, I'm at home, let's do this. So we've put a lot of it together, and then their friends have seen the video, and then they either ask to like get put in contact with us, or we can reach out to folks.
So how do you select the song you're gonna do? Because the songs are so varied. There's so many different kinds of songs in there.
Well, for me, it's I try
because it's like you do the replacements, but you don't do the famous replacement song. You do a specific replacement song, and so there are all these choices that they're not the common choice that you would think necessarily. So is it just you two guys go through that, or do you pick them, Jordan? Like, how does it?
It's Jordan for sure. I mean,
yeah.
The other thing you have to remember is, sorry, I know I was like, it's Jordan, but let me talk. But the other thing that you have to remember is, like, we've been riding the niche our whole lives, let alone like as content creators, you know? And it's like, we want to make the things that are going to appeal. Before there was metal music, there was cult movies, and there was all sorts of, you know, things that are outside of counterculture type things that are enjoyed by a small group, but I mean really enjoyed. I mean, you know, really, really loved. And so we always try
a lot
to
of the comedy has that polyester kind of feeling to it, you know.
Yeah, but okay, I'm the person that does not like metal. Like, don't like it. Nothing.
Okay.
Well, how do you?
Well, Jesse, hold on, man.
You're bad vibing the guys on the call.
No, I love
we didn't invent metal. It's totally fine.
Yeah,
you can not like metal. I get it.
But I like you, and I think you are all. You know what you do is great. I mean, even Jesse said, "Oh, you're not going to like this, but you're going to love them," which is what happened.
I never said that.
No, you said because it's not my thing. It's metal.
That's a compliment. I'll take that.
Hey, I was just on Zooming with Def Leppard, whatever. What's their name? Rick Allen, you know, drummer.
Def Leppard?
Yeah.
Def Leppard is cooler.
Well, I was on a thing with him, but you didn't show up to that one, Jesse. Just a different thing. But no, I just want to understand, Jordan, from you, because you said like I want to understand like what is it that you love about it? Like, what is that? You said both of you, your parents, your family grew up with it. Because I always find it really like alienated and angry. I'm already alienating and angry, right? So I want to get something feel, a little cozier. So I need to understand it, honestly. I'm being honest now. I'm serious.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up listening to classical music. My dad was a huge classical music fan, and he just shoved Bach down my throat, and I loved Bach. And but then my mom loved classic rock. And so I would be listening to, she loved Eric Clapton. She loved the Rolling Stones. So I'm getting, and then from there I heard like Steely Dan, and I really liked.
Everything your mother likes, just want to say that.
Yeah, it's all so great. But then I liked, I think there's a world where, the guitar work of Eric Clapton and Steely Dan and classical music meet, and you get something, then when I hear Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads for the first time, I'm blown away, because it takes all these elements of classical music and it is making them sound like they're exploding, and I love it, and it's fast and it's technical and it's fun. I think that the fun aspect really drew me to metal, and then I can get into more extreme versions of metal when I can sort of hear those other elements brought into it. When I can hear that they're having fun, or that they have something to say. If it's just growling and it's about basic monster stuff, I don't care. But if you're actually if you're screaming about something, then I care. That's when I love hardcore bands. I love a hardcore band called War on Women, because all of their songs are masterfully put together, using lots of different elements from different genres, and it's so the music is interesting, and it's screaming and it's yelling, but it's about every song is about something that's very important, and it's all about, you know, the like tearing down the patriarchy and women's rights, and I love that. I love that there's an avenue for that. So I think there's a world where fun and important meet in metal, and I love it.
Let me just keep going down this road 1 second for both of you, though. Actually, in this time that we're living in, we don't need to get into too much of the insanity that we're in right now up in the, you know,
what insanity?
Yeah, exactly.
You're on a boat. Life is great.
The boat, and I'm on a shed.
We're eating shrimp, baby.
Yeah, on the Barbie. But here's the thing. Right now, though, I think there is like this rage, and this people are feeling, whatever side you're on, like there is this kind of, what are we doing? And do you think now is a resurgence, is now a moment, because it is an expression that is more extreme, let's say, than folk music or even classical music, that we need to be able to express ourselves in different ways, because the pandemic, the political situation, the climate situation, like everything is kind of right? We're all up here. Is it a great moment for metal right now?
I think it can be. I think we're hoping, we're definitely trying to use our platform to allow people to do stuff that's fun but also important. Like, I think we put together a song that we normally wouldn't have done maybe a year ago, is Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine, because that is one of the most covered songs on the planet. But I think what I had a vision, how all the songs kind of come together is just, I'll be listening to a song and I'll hear a little melody or an idea of, that's really how it just happens, is if I hear a melody or that I can turn into a riff that sounds like it's in a different genre, then I want to do the song. It doesn't really matter if it's a B-side or an A-side. It's just if I think I can do a transformation of it. And I heard it with Killing in the Name. I heard that we could take this bouncy 90s song and turn it into an 80s thrash metal song. And then I decided that we should have, that I won't even appear in the video, and we will have all non-white performers perform the song, because the song is about police brutality and abuse of power, and that is not a primarily white issue, so I shouldn't be. I don't need to be involved in it.
So you have the idea that you're going to do it. You get the musicians, but it's not like you. What do you send them? Do you send them your guitar track? Like, how do you technically?
I make the whole song. The whole song in.
But what do you say to them? Like, okay, now you're going to play. You make the whole song, and then you send it to them. Then they play their piece of it and send it back to you.
But to clarify, though, like, I mean, Jordan is making drums in like GarageBand, and you hand that over to a brilliant drummer, and it's like they know the timing, and now they can do their own thing. You know, Jordan records a solo, and we get Marty Friedman of Megadeth fame, who's one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He's not going to do note for note. He's like, okay, I know where to put my stuff. It's not really a blueprint as much as it's like a rough sketch. And those are fun, and we put those on our Patreon, like, so people can see the process. Like, hey, here's our demo that Jordan made and sent out, you know. But the reality is that, like, we're working with extremely talented people, so we give them so much room to do what they do best.
So they'll do the track, they'll send it back to you. Now, will you record them doing their track, or do you do the recording of their visual image later? Do you do it all at the same time?
We allow them to film their own footage. Like, we can't film their footage for them, so we give them minimal instruction, and like, you know, if they only have a phone, we tell them how to get the best quality out of their phone. If they and such, and you know, we're hands-on in, like, all right, well, what do you have to record? So we help them figure out the best way that they can record if they don't have if they didn't have like if they don't have access to a studio or anything. We help them figure out how to use, you know, their DI in the best way. Mm-hmm. Either we'll be like, record your part, send it to me, and we'll reamp it on our end. So we we do that, and usually, they're just filming and recording their audio on their end, and then we're cutting it together, and then it goes to Drew, where Drew kind of ties it all together visually. Drew is a master of.
Now, Drew, you're a visual artist as well, because all of the pieces on YouTube, they each have a different look to them, but they are of a piece. But they're. Do you have to then affect the way the imagery all looks and then cut it together? How long does that all take?
Not as long as I'd like. Really, so here's the thing. So I can't stress enough that like we are in a very, very strange time that was unexpected. We had this idea to do bedroom covers back in 2019, and that was the goal for 2020 was to be, we're going to try to put out a video every month. And the idea is we have musicians from all over the world record their stuff from the bedroom, having no idea that there's going to be a lockdown, quarantines, a virus, anything. It was just, this is a really good way to make videos, because the hardest thing about doing, the true 2 minutes to late night talk show was scheduling. I mean, we literally we had an issue where a guest just couldn't come within an hour of recording, and we had to scramble. And luckily, Emily helped us out, Hard Melissa, and get a guest. But scheduling is the hardest thing in the world. And now, it's such a double-edged sword. A lot of people have free time, so we have people that can record songs and record their videos. And I've got a friend with a GoPro. Wouldn't it be funny if I played my guitar in front of a half pipe and had people skateboard behind me? The great thing is, like, we made a couple of videos, and now people see how we do it, and they're like, I don't want to be the guy with the bad footage. I want to have the good footage.
Right.
So people send us really cool stuff, and some people have green screen access. Others have $1 million studios that they're recording in. And so all that footage gets sent to us. And the reality is, because we're dealing with so much stuff at a time, we've only missed 1 week in 27 weeks of doing this, but we put out a video every week. And that usually means me editing the video on Saturday or Sunday to go out on Monday.
Wow. And is it just you two there's a lot of credits on the show, but are now that you're working and you're doing it like this, is it just the two of you?
Yep.
Just us and Brian, who mixes the audio, Brian Batiste.
We have, thank God for him. Cause I know a lot about music, but I think just the years of loud music and not wearing earplugs when I should have when I was younger has just ruined my ability to like nicely get frequencies to sit. I have no idea how to do that. I don't have the ears for it. He's a gift.
When you were doing it before, you say, well, we worked for a couple of years to get this person to do the piece. How are you doing one a week? It's a huge amount. It seems like there's a huge production line to get there. Like, are you just in process with all of them? Because you can't just go on Friday, okay, let's do something for next week, or do you?
Oh, no, so basically how it works is why they're coming out every week now is we had, after we released the first two videos, just so many people started like hitting us up wanting to do songs. And I had just a backlog of ideas that I wanted to do for the show. So I started putting together all of the song ideas, and then some other musicians would come in with song ideas. And we would talk about them, and then if of course other people have ideas, and we try to figure out how to make them work. But it just ended up being, we had this huge catalog, and then it's just kind of always remained really big.
Right.
So we just always have like 12 songs in production, and we just kind of figure out, we kind of give people a lot of space to work at their own pace until Drew and I decide, I'm like, okay, I received the most assets for this song, so this song is coming out this week. And then I start bugging everybody, being like, listen, get me your videos, send them right now. They never send them right now. They always just make it on Friday. And then I try to sync them up, and then I get it over to Drew, and poor Drew has to edit it in 2 days.
So go ahead, Pete.
Yeah. So just the amount of work you're doing. I brought my dog in to say hi to your cat.
Yeah. Wow.
What's your dog's name?
Billy. He was named after Billie Eilish. I named him after Billie Eilish because he's a bad guy. Yeah. Anyway,
This is Brady. That's the name he came with.
Brady. Okay.
Yeah, he's
No,
a good
but
guy.
I think that like there is so much that you do. So do you adjust, like you have a fixed idea, just like what Jesse was asking, you have a fixed idea about a show, but then people are sending you stuff. So how flexible do you then become to where like, whoa, we thought we were going this way. Oh, hi.
That's Jenny.
Just
Hi.
Jenny, my dog.
Hi,
She's
Jenny.
been in some videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, how like flexible are you when you kind of somebody comes on or they send you something and you go, okay, we were gonna go this way and now we're gonna go that way. Like how do you
we
improvise?
never really have that problem because it really, we never have a clear vision other than like really loose stuff. Like we did the Fleetwood Mac cover, and the second that I heard the first mixes, I was like, this sounds 60s, 70s. Like it has an old sound. And so we want to kind of mimic that with the video. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to color correct it a certain way. I'm going to add filters to make it look like it's shot on 35 millimeter film instead of an iPhone 6. And, you know, we just kind of do things like that. And the thematic stuff sort of happens because of what we're given. Like we did a cover of Riff Raff by AC/DC, and it just so happened that Neil Fallon from Clutch had a green screen, and he was like, I'm going to send you green screen. And it just came together that it was like, well, this is an Australian song. Let's put all Australian things behind it. And so he's performing in front of, you know, Kangaroo Jack and Crocodile Dundee. And it's really fun and funny, and people really liked it. And some of the other stuff is just, you know, you find the magic as you're editing. Like we did a Billy Idol cover, and as Mike Terry was singing, his dog came through. And so I just zoomed in on his dog. And Phil Demmel, who used to play in Slayer and is from Machine Head and Violence. He's, you know, like a big, tough, scary looking guy, but he's like, I'm going to play it in my son's tiny rocket ship playset. And it's probably my favorite thing. And that literally was just like, all right, well, I'm not going to cut away from this. It's too good. Everyone has to see it. So that was just the magic. You just, I mean, that's the thing is like, I would say like Jordan and I's biggest strength is that like we can tell when there's magic, and we grab it and show it to people.
Now, why Guarcinio? Are you a big fan of Gwar?
Yes. We love. I mean, we're a metal comedy. We have to love Gwar.
Yeah, I saw Gwar perform once. They were incredible. A giant airplane engine landed on the stage as they were performing.
We love them. We've never done anything with Gwar. We're trying to, I mean, maybe that can change. We did once, we did a sketch before we filmed our second episode, and it was about Gwar suing me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, cool. Great. Yeah,
that was really fun.
It was really fun. We got to work with comedian Kyle Kinane, who we're huge fans of. And it was also, we thought it would be fun to do a sketch about me getting sued by Gwar, but also kind of sneak it in as a pitch for the show.
Right.
It was like a secret pitch deck. And it was really fun. It was super fun. But yeah, I've loved Gwar. I think since I was younger, I loved just that they were weird, gross kaiju men playing very silly metal songs, and that's you know they're. I love bands. I don't love every musical comedy act, but they're a musical comedy act that I completely understand, and it's on the same wavelength as us as seeing what is so silly about this genre.
You know, there is silliness to it, but you know, when you listen to Dave Mustaine, you know, there is a sort of level of artistry that he reaches that is not, you know, it's every bit as good as anything else that's out there. You know, it's I don't know that they're always, do you think they're always silly? I mean, you know, Blizzard of Oz, you know, these don't seem like silly, you know, do you know what I mean? They seem like there's a real artistry to these bands, you know?
Oh,
I
totally.
think Ozzy Osbourne is very silly, and he knows it.
Yeah. But there's still, Randy Rhoads wasn't so silly, and it was
the balance.
I think there's a level of artistry that they reach that isn't always understood, you know.
I mean, I think Gwar is one of those bands where the shows wouldn't be half as good if it was bad music. They're great musicians and they write really fun, catchy songs. And they just so happen to, spray fake blood everywhere and wear giant rubber costumes. I think like anything is, you have to earn your cult. You have to earn people admiring you. And part of that is, if you're fun, you also have to be talented. And if you're talented, you also have to be a little fun sometimes.
When you guys were doing the show, the audience was such a part of your show when it was in a stage. Were those just regular audience members, or did you know them all? Did you go ahead?
Oh yeah, no, though we sold tickets to the tapings, and so those were just regular people, and they're usually drunk. So there's a lot of stuff we have to cut out where we're like, hey, don't shout right now. We're doing a thing.
Yeah. But the cool thing about the audience too is that, like, we're fans. I mean, we're fans of everything. We love stuff. We love things, and it's important. Yeah. It's important to like things, and I love that we have people who really admire the show. We have people who have, made us gifts, have just done fan art, and we've always been of this belief of like, whoa, you drew a cool picture, let's put it on a T-shirt and sell it. And like Rachel, who's a friend of ours, just drew art for fun because she liked it, and we're like, oh, we're gonna put their art on a T-shirt.
Right.
A question about your fans, because like they're pretty broad. Talk a little bit about that. It's a wide, group of people, right? That come and really support you and celebrate you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a ton of, there are a lot of people who don't even necessarily like metal, who just like the show for comedic reasons, or they just like to watch how we're going to transform a song. But they would, I think that's the biggest thing, is that there are so many elements of metal. Like it's, you can talk, there's artistry to Cannibal Corpse, but Cannibal Corpse is not for everybody. But then I think,
I can see you shaking your head at the name Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse is all the record covers, right? They do all their.
Yeah, they have gross record covers, but this is a band called Baroness, and their singer, John Baisley, was on the second episode of our show ever. This band is not funny at all. This band is full of artists. There's so much beauty. There's so much going on a Baroness record. There's everything that I love about metal, and then just elements that just everyone loves about music. I feel like they're a band for everybody, but are at the core like technically a metal band. So I think that's a band that, there isn't anything funny about the actual band themselves. But then when I talked to John Baisley, he was like, listen, everyone thinks that I'm so serious and I don't want to have fun at all. I would love to do this show because no one ever wants me to do anything fun. And I feel like that's kind of the place that our show has, not just for metal, but for all types of music. So that made me very happy. And
are you going to become a professor, the two of you, professors of music? You have more musical knowledge, I think. I mean, you're just your ability to kind of talk about these bands and really under that deep, just pretty serious stuff. I mean, that's serious stuff. And what I'm learning from you today is you're both very serious artists, right? You have a lot of intentionality around what you do. And it's, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of design work, there's a lot going on here. It's pretty great.
We're entertainers, it's like part of being entertaining is you have to know and appreciate. I mean, when I say like metal is funny and goofy, it isn't, but I'm good at finding what about it is metal and goofy, and that only comes from love. You know what I mean? You wouldn't write a parody of, I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan, and I know that Mel Brooks isn't parodying things because he hates them. It comes from love, You have to know what you're talking about to make fun of, or it's like a roast, If you ever watch like one of those old like Friars Club roasts, those guys love each other. It's never, like the Comedy Central roast where they just have like the celebrity of the week. Those are never the funniest ones. It's when it's your best friend really ripping you apart.
So why does Elvira have a mustache?
Weird Al.
Weird
Al Elvira.
It's Weird Al and Elvira as one thing.
Right. But were you in a room and said, you know what this needs? A mustache.
That was the first thing we thought of.
Yeah,
Really?
literally. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We were discussing ideas because we only had one sponsor who was a very little perfume company in LA called Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. And since they gave us just a little bit of money for each episode, we had to come up with like a fun way to do an ad for them. I also just liked the challenge of having to come up with a funny ad.
Right.
So we were just in a writer's room trying to figure out what other thing we could do to sell perfumes. And then we were talking about parody songs, and then a combination of we're spiraling, and then Drew pitches Weird Al Elvira, just says the name, and we all knew exactly what it was going to be.
Right.
Yeah, and that's our friend Nadia, who's been Jordan's friend for a million years, and we try to keep it like we like to call our like group of people the family, because we all love each other and we all work together. And so it was also great to work with new people too. But it was awesome because we had been doing stuff with Nadia for a really long time. It was like, this would be perfect for Nadia because she's super funny and she can sing and she looks great.
She has an Elvira costume.
She had the sword already. Yeah.
Yeah. She had
again. It's like, you know, from the outside perspective, like, you know, why does she have a mustache? If you get it, you instantly get it. And that's kind of our wheelhouse, is like making things like that.
Yeah. Well, the show is really fantastic, you guys. You should be really proud of it. It's I really, really enjoy it. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with next. It's like, you know, thank you so much for spending time with us. Just really appreciate the insights, you know.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And again, you got me. So
Jesse, before we get out of here, what do you love about metal?
Well, I like all kinds of music. I mean, I like Bach, and I like big fan of rock music in general. That's my where my family comes from. And then I just like I like a lot of those bands. I think they have I think you were talking about Iron Maiden, and I was just thinking about all the record covers. You know, they were so great, and Ozzy is so great, and there's just a lot of these. But I mean, Slayer, Metallica, these were all great bands in their own way. I mean, I don't listen to one thing all the time. I just kind of, I can also listen to ABBA. It's like I just like music. But it's really, I have to say, just watching you guys do your thing, it's so original because there's tons and tons of people making these sort of Zoom movies now. And most of them are terrible and boring, and they're like, you watch them and you think like there's a reason, there's a reason you don't see, everybody doing it. And then when you see your stuff, you go, yeah, that's the way to do it. It's like an original way of doing it. And I just don't think there's very much of that. So, you guys are really onto something, and it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw you and you had a real talk show, because the talk show stuff was really funny. It has a great sensibility to it. And then the musical stuff. And, I just love that stuff. So I think it's really great. There just isn't that much that's really original like that. So I just really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Good to hear. That means a lot.
Yeah. Lovely talking to you guys. Thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you guys down the road again sometime,
That'd be great. I'll put on all of the face paint that time.
I'll take off my wig.
Yeah.
Be shopping right now.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. Those guys were so great. I hope everybody here will go and watch their show, 2 Minutes to Late Night. We'll put it in the things below.
Yeah, I had no idea you were so into that. You knew every band that they knew.
Well, I didn't know every band. They know a lot more bands, but I did like a lot of their stuff. Their stuff is great.
Yeah, they won me over, I have to say. They're really sweet, really funny, really talented.
Yeah, no doubt.
in intentionality. You know, it gives us a lot to think about. We have a high bar now. We gotta.
Okay, I'll see you in the next one.